Hey everybody, this is Chris Endres with Glasshouse Realty and the Endres Group. We ran an ad recently about first-time homebuyer programs that are available to Ohio residents, kind of Ohio-sponsored programs, I'm guessing. And we got a lot of message requests on that, so I thought it'd be a really good idea today to kind of sit down with a local lending expert to kind of go over what those programs are and how they can apply to you, and maybe they would be suitable for you. Maybe we can help you guys on that process. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ben Rife. He's one of my go-to lenders. I've been working with Ben for probably 6 years now or
Yeah.
so. He's helped me with a lot of clients, a lot of VA clients, a lot of civilian clients. And so, Ben, I'll throw it over to you if you want to just give us kind of a background on where you're from, how you got into lending, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Ben Rife, like Chris said, with Cornerstone First Mortgage. I've been lending for really only about 6 years now. I got into it during COVID, actually, of all things.
I actually
So,
didn't know that.
yeah, if COVID wouldn't have happened, I would not be in the lending industry.
Oh,
I was furloughed from my job. I ran a large retail box store, Bed Bath and Beyond, of all
oh,
places.
sweet. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah,
That's kind of
yeah.
cool.
So I was the GM there for about 10 years, and I had anywhere from 50 to 100 employees at one time. Ran a P&L. Was one of the most profitable P&Ls in the whole region. Out of 800 stores, I was number two. So a friend of my wife's was like, "Hey, I know you're a smart guy. You know numbers. I'm going to open up a mortgage company during COVID, of all things, in Centerville." And he said, "You want to come work for me?"
And that
And
was that Ruoff when you were with
Ruoff
Ruoff? Yeah.
Mortgage, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and not to be throwing out advertising for other companies with that, but I think that's one of the important things to say. Anybody who knows me know that I refuse to really accept money from anybody. I only use people because they're good at what they do and they're honest and trustworthy people. So that's honestly really impressive to me because we've been working for each other for 6 years, and I didn't know you had just been in lending 6 years. But I think that goes to show to your character and who you are as a person, as far as your trustworthiness. That I just use you because you're good at what you do and your
yeah.
work ethic. You answer my calls anytime, day or night. So that's really cool. I didn't know. I got to learn something about you myself.
Awesome. Appreciate those
Yeah.
kind words. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was all about. I think why he thought I would be good at this in this industry was just customer service, communication. He knew, not only was I a smart guy with numbers, but just I had that background with 26 years of retail management.
Yeah.
So and it's funny
That
is
customer service aspect of it.
yeah, yeah, and it's funny is I met quite a few of the realtors that I know that have come into that location or into that store, and just they know me. They're like, "You're familiar. You look familiar." And then I'm like, "Ever shop at Bed Bath and Beyond?" They're like, "Yeah." And then we start kind of hitting it off,
Yeah.
and some of them, I've built that relationship with them from when I was there at Bed Bath and Beyond, and they became realtors, and then they found out that I became a lender, and then we kind of just started working with each other. So,
That's pretty sweet, man.
yeah,
Cool background. So I guess the ad we were running a couple weeks ago, it was really talking about that Ohio has programs for first-time home buyers to kind of give them, buyers assistance programs. So let's start first with regular, because I work a lot with VA military clients, but we also work with civilians as well, obviously. Let's start first off with just our civilian home buyers and kind of what are the programs that are kind of oriented towards them, and how can they, I guess, what are the requirements for those programs? What are the things that make them eligible?
yeah,
And what is it? I guess that's OFA, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, there's three different ones for. Well, I should classify as down payment assistance, and then first time home buyers,
Okay.
because OFA is strictly for first time home buyers. But if a property is located in a target area, it doesn't matter if they've owned a property before, they are automatic first time home buyers. So, target area being an area that they're trying to boost up.
Say like West Dayton or
Yeah,
something like
just
that.
somewhere that
Okay.
the economy maybe wasn't so great, but they're trying to rebuild it and bring people back into that area. So they allow people that have owned properties before to buy property there and use this program and basically considered first-time home buyers.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So what's the difference then between the first-time home buyer and you said the down payment assistance program?
Yeah, I mean, there's down payment assistance, and then there's first-time home buyers also. Okay. So OFA is good for your first-time home buyers, and they give down payment assistance. Then there's two other down payment assistance programs that are not for first-time home buyers that are available for clients if possible. My go-to is OFA just because I know their guidelines are like the back of my hand. They never run out of funds. It's backed by U.S. Bank. They have they're pretty lenient with following the Fannie and Freddie guidelines for as far as what those guidelines are for funding, and they pretty much follow those guidelines pretty strictly.
So what is a regular everyday buyer like? What is the requirements for them to meet the standards, I guess, for OFA to be able to utilize that program? For just not talking. I know we're going to get into like military and first responders and that kind of stuff, but without that category, just OFA alone, first-time home buyer, down payment assistance stuff, what do you need to do to meet the criteria for that?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain guidelines for each program. The biggest thing is based off the county. The county is going to be, there's an income base. You can't make over a certain amount of income based off that county. Okay. So what I do is, depending on what county they're going to buy in or looking in, we look up what their income qualification is.
Is there something you could say? I know as lenders, you guys really try to stay away from it's this or that, especially with numbers, because that can vary. But is there a price range? We're primarily here in this area. We're looking at Montgomery County, Greene County, maybe Warren County, primarily markets I cover, and that I'm sure you probably do the majority of as well. So, is there a broad range you could give us from those three counties?
So Montgomery, Greene, and Preble, Dark, most of them are around, it's based off of household numbers. So if there is 1 to 2 people living in the household, that qualifying income's right around $98,000 and some change. As long as they make under $98,000, then they can qualify.
Combined? Or even as an individual?
Well, you can do it individually or you do combined. Okay. So OFA will only count the income that's for the people that are applying for the loan. So if there's husband and wife on the loan, they both work and they make too much money, then I kind of go the extra mile and look and say, okay, let's take off the husband or the wife or the partner or whatever, and can we qualify them with just one person? Because they're only going to count the income that's on the application.
Okay. I mean, so that's, I guess, rule out number one. If you make $100,000 or more, especially as an individual.
Only for 1 to 2 person household.
Right. But I'm saying if you're a single individual, you're making over $100,000, OFA is not for you.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's one good way to kind of, that's what I really want to do here today is when breaking down these programs is when people are watching this video, is that apply to me? And I think that's one really good, easy rule out. Okay. Yeah. I make more than $100,000. That one's out. You can still buy a house, though. Hit me up.
You can always still buy a house. Yeah. We'll figure out a way.
Just Ohio's not going to back you on it.
You're not going to be able to use the OFA program. Correct. Right. There's some other qualifying aspects, too, because the credit has to be over. If they go for a conventional loan, it's 650 or higher, or 640 or higher. Okay. If they do a government-backed loan, FHA, VA, USDA, it's 650 or higher. Okay.
And that's across the board, no matter the counties. So
credit score.
You need a minimum of, what was it?
Credit score's got to be 640 or higher for conventional. Government, it's 650 or higher.
All right. Well, so that's another one. So if you're under 640, OFA may not be for you. However, Ben does do a lot of work with people who need help getting their finances back sorted, and he can put people. You have programs basically, right, to help people with, or not necessarily programs, but ideas to help people. Yeah. Your credit score is below 600. He's got some things that he can basically pull your credit score and stuff, kind of give you some ideas, things you could do to help get that credit score back on track to maybe qualify for those programs.
Yeah, the biggest thing is still have the person still fill out the application because that allows me to either do a soft pull where I can actually do what's called a what if simulator and simulate on how to raise the person's credit score up.
Okay.
For example, I had a client come to me and his credit score was 666. There was some things that he wasn't aware of on the credit report that were reporting derogatory towards his credit, and that was hitting him each month, lowering his credit score. So, I gave him the information to contact that creditor and to get it taken care of. And in about 30 days, his credit score went up 72 points,
Wow.
which is a big jump.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
What is the difference? Is there any other, I guess, with OFA specific requirements outside of how much
so
you're
it's
making?
so it's income, it's going to be credit score, and it's going to be debt to income ratio. So all your payments divided by what you bring in home each month, and if that DTI is over 50%, it won't work.
Okay. I know me personally, that's not some calculation I could probably run myself, but that's probably an easy thing for you to get there. Have them, like you said, fill out the application.
Yeah.
And that could potentially be a disqualifying thing as well, but that's something they could hit you up for and also that's something I've seen you work with my clients as well. Hey, let's pay off this real quick. You got the money. Let's pay off this credit card and then you'll qualify for it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always ways we're going to look and see about restructuring it to make sense for the client. So a lot of times clients will be like, oh, I have saved up X amount of dollars. I have $50,000, $60,000 I want to put down on the loan, but they may have a lot of other debts or something they could pay off to decrease their total debt to income ratio. Let's pay off something that may be a higher interest rate because, God forbid, credit cards are in the 20%.
Yeah.
Car loans can be, double digits too. Maybe it makes more sense instead of putting $50,000, $60,000 down to pay off that debt, which then decreases their total debt to income ratio.
Yeah, and not only does that maybe help them qualify for OFA, but that can also give them a better rate on their loan as well. Right?
Yeah, better rate on the loan, lowers their mortgage insurance if we're going mortgage insurance. There's so many different factors. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else we're missing on OFA specifically for civilians?
Well, OFA, when I say 1 to 2 person household, that's 1 to 2 people. If they have children, dependents, that changes, qualifying income changes. So for Montgomery County, it goes from $98,000 for a 1 to 2 person household. For a 3 person household, it goes to $110,000.
Okay.
So
scratch what I said initially about. Well, no, because I said if you're a single person, you make $100,000. So yeah, if you're a family of three plus,
3 or more,
then you can do 110. That's combined or just individual? Doesn't matter.
The
just
total,
as a household.
whatever's on the application. So if there's 2 individuals on the application, as long as it's not over 110, or if it's just one, as long as it's not over 110, you're good.
Anything else on OFA that we're missing?
No, I mean there's there's an assisted part of OFA, which means that they'll give you money, and that interest rate is a little bit higher typically.
And when you say give you money, you're talking about towards down payment, like your let's throw out a scenario: FHA buyer, they're going to have to bring what percent down typically?
3.5%.
So that OFA can assist with that down payment of that 3.5%.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Same with all government loans, VA, USDA, and FHA. You can have 3.5% down payment assistance.
Okay.
Conventional is going to be 3% down payment assistance. Now, the interest rates for those programs, the government loans will be higher than what your typical interest rate may be because they're giving you money.
Right.
I mean, it's a totally forgiven bond program from the state of Ohio.
Okay.
Which means they're giving you free money as long as you live in that property for 7 years or more. It's totally forgiven.
What happens if they bounce on year 6?
Then they work that into, you have to repay that back to them. So, but you got to think of this: how much your property value has increased over 6 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So when they go to sell
we're talking maybe $5,000 or so on down payment assistance, just for example. Yeah, and you're right. So if they've been in the house for 6 years, they probably have a hell of a lot more equity in that house than whatever that would be. So maybe not not necessarily something that could potentially keep you tied to a home.
Yeah.
As long as you work with the right realtor and buy the right house, make sure you're making a good investment.
And OFA has not only do they offer, down payment assistance where they give you the money, but they offer a lower interest rate for people that have already saved up money and they have money for down payment and they have money for closing cost. So they offer a non-assisted rate, which means the interest rate is much lower than the interest rate where they give you money, right? So, for example, right now, a government-backed loan, the interest rate with no assistance, so they're not giving you any money, you're just using their lower interest rate, is at 5.875, which is lower than what the current rate would be for any kind of government loan right now.
And for people who don't know what that means when you talk about government-backed loan, explain that real quick. What is that?
Just a government loan, VA,
USDA,
USDA,
VA.
FHA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is when you say government-backed, what does that mean? I mean, if they bailed out, the government's still going to cover that loan? Or?
No, it's just a government loan instead of it being a regular conventional loan, which is Fannie and Freddie guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a government loan. So they have different criteria when it comes to appraisals, right? So they want to make sure that nothing is safety and habitable for the client. They're going to be a little bit more stringent on that appraisal. Make sure there's no tripping hazards, handrails missing, things like that. So,
man, I feel like so that kind of covers the OFA as far as the down payment assistance and the
non-assisted.
Non-assisted, that the rate versus the down payment. Okay. You feel like that pretty much covers the OFA part before we move on to anything else? Or is there any? I know I keep asking you that. And obviously.
Well, there's so many different tiers to OFA,
Sure.
And it's they have a first-time home buyer rate for your government loans and conventional loans, and for non-assisted government and non-assisted conventional. Then they have what's called Ohio Heroes, which would be anybody that is like a firefighter, paramedic, RN, LPN, kindergartner teacher through 12th grade teacher, K through 12, veteran, retired active duty, all of that. And they break it down in tiers there's the first time home buyer interest rates, and there's the Ohio Heroes interest rates, and then they have one called Grants for Grads. So anybody that has graduated within the last 24 months can qualify with a little bit better. And you can use those together. You can be a first-time home buyer, you can be a police officer, and you could be a recent grad, and you'll see the interest rates lower on each one of those tiers.
Okay, I like that. Well, let's talk then a little bit let's focus specifically on the Heroes program. So any of our veterans, active duty, retired, healthcare workers, school teachers, first responders.
Yes.
Am I missing anybody on that? That's pretty.
No, I mean, no, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start at the basics with that. What are the requirements to meet that? Outside of the obvious, you've got to be a hero.
Yeah, you got to be a hero.
You got to have your cape.
And how we prove that is, by certificate of eligibility, or I'm working with 2 police officers right now. They just have to have their police certificate or whatever. If it's an RN, we look up their license. LPN, look up their license. So there's ways we can prove, make sure OFA is going to check that.
Real quick on the healthcare side, is there healthcare so broad? I feel like is there anybody that you can think of off the top of your head? I mean, obviously nurses, doctors, technicians, phlebotomists, psych workers, therapists, any of that stuff. Are people who don't necessarily qualify for that, or is it?
No, it's doctors, LPNs, RNs. Not sure about phlebotomist.
Yeah, I did that at some point. I used to do that on the side when I was in the military. That was always like my side hustle. Get in there, draw blood after hours. I was just curious. That's maybe a question we can tap back into and throw it in the comments. As far as you don't have that off the top of your head. they're all healthcare workers. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
even from dietitians to physical therapists.
The
Even though
biggest
they may
thing,
not be a nurse or a doc, they still,
Yeah.
work in the healthcare field.
I think the biggest thing for OFA is that you have to have that certification,
Okay.
and we have to be able to prove and send them that certification.
Okay.
But there is a list of what they accept and don't accept for Ohio Heroes.
Okay. So it's got to be some kind of something that requires some kind of degree or certification.
Correct.
Which phlebotomy does fall into that category. I mean, so I don't see why that wouldn't work. But we'll table that there and say if you are in the healthcare field and you have further questions about that, hit Ben up and he can talk
See
to
if
you
you
about
qualify.
see if you qualify. He'll scroll the list there.
But no, to get back on with your question of as far as the healthcare, I mean, like just Ohio Heroes. Forget what I was going to say.
Well, basically, we were talking about the different requirements. So we were on the first one, for healthcare workers, you got to meet that hero status. And then what are the other limitations? So like on the last OFA program we were talking about, you had to have certain financial guardrails. So what would that be on?
Those guardrails are the exact same.
Okay, cool.
So,
So if you're a police officer, single, and you make over 100,000, not for you.
Correct.
If you're a police officer, family of 3+, 110,000.
Yep.
Okay, so that helps a little bit too. Any of the other requirements differ from the Heroes program outside of the?
No.
Okay.
As far as income qualifying, it's just all income based, and then credit qualifying.
And that's still the same across
the board. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's good.
Something crazy is going to happen for the first time in OFA on June 1st.
What's that?
They're going to do a rate sale. In the history of OFA, they've never done a rate sale.
What is that?
I just know that it's going to be some kind of special interest rates they don't tell us a duration of time. They don't know. We don't know what the rates are going to be. But the last time that they did this, well, they've never done the rate sale before. But the last time they restructured OFA, it used to be 5% and then 3.5% down payment assistance.
Yeah.
And there was no assistance. There wasn't an option for somebody that had funds saved up. It was just strictly 3.5%, 5%, or 3% and 5%.
So we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But pay attention. In June, you're saying,
yes,
for the specific programs we're talking about today, there's going to be some kind. I'm assuming they're doing that to kind of stimulate the economy, encourage people to buy homes, and stimulate the housing market. So, potential big program coming out for you guys. All of our military and first-time home buyers, all of our heroes. So that's a follow that. Keep an eye on that. Hit us up. I'm excited to see what that could be. So
yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I have people that are pre-approved right now, and I'm not saying like, hey, let's hold off on shopping for houses, but
right.
It's June 1st is in a couple days.
Yeah.
That's Monday, right? So,
It's
over
coming
the
up
weekend
quick.
to get them under contract, and next thing you know that I don't know what those rates are, but they'll come out on Monday, and I've already advised that something big is going to happen for them. So
That's smart, man.
yeah,
I like that. That'll be cool. What else we were going to talk about? We had the regular OFA. We had the Heroes program. Then there was one other one I think you were talking about too.
grants for grads.
Oh, yeah. Grants for grads. That was one I've never even heard of that one. So anyone who's graduated within 24
months.
And this is a higher education, or
It can be
high school?
bachelor. No, not high school. No. It's got to be like a bachelor's degree, master's degree,
Okay.
Some kind of degree within the last 24 months.
Okay, so just higher education, bachelor's, master's,
Yeah.
not associate's programs?
Associate programs are all right.
All right,
That
cool.
qualifies.
Okay.
And then I'm going to throw a little wrinkle into that. Remember
Okay.
when I said 7 years?
No.
That the OFA, if you got down payment assistance where they gave you money,
Right.
you had 7 years to live in the house. If you didn't live in the
yeah,
7
yeah.
years, well, if you're grants for grads, it's 5 years. They
Okay.
changed it to 5 years. So
That's also a smart program, though, because I know there's been a lot of talk about, in Ohio specifically, having a hard time keeping new graduates in Ohio. It's like people graduate and then they
you
want
want
to
to move somewhere
take
else.
off, go explore the world. So that's a good program, I guess, to also help stimulate the economy in Ohio, and also trying to keep those bright, new, eager students that are just now hitting the working force to kind of stay local and get really good rates on. Is it rates or is it down payment assistance too? What is it for the students?
They get a break on the rate. The rate's a little lower, so you can combine all three of them.
So they can be first-time home buyer. Maybe they're in the not volunteer. What about let's throw this one out here just for shits and gigs. Don't know if I can say that or not, but we'll say that's who I am. First-time home buyer. They're a volunteer firefighter, and they just graduated with their bachelor's degree.
Yep.
Well, yeah, okay, that'll work. So they can meet all three of those programs, and they
Yep.
can combine all three of those.
Yeah, I mean, they're just taking advantage of, okay, one, you're in the boat of a first-time home buyer, and that has a certain rate. And then you have Ohio Heroes, that has a certain rate. And then you have Grants for Grads, and that has a certain rate.
Okay.
So if you have all three, you can use, basically, the rates get lower.
Yeah.
To get better for the clients.
That's awesome, man. I didn't like that. It's such an informative, not even for everyone else out there in the world, but that's good stuff for me to know too. I like that. You know, I primarily end up with veterans and stuff, but I obviously get a wide array of clients. That's all good intel, man.
Yeah.
I'd be passing them to you anyways. You'd be telling them that stuff, but
it can be overwhelming. That's why I'm like, do you prefer it in writing? Because I'm a learner. I have to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, I can't tell you how many times we've had conversation. I'm like, talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old because I don't get a lot of that stuff too. So I appreciate more of a simplistic breakdown of things. So, all right. Well, do you have any other stuff to add to any of those programs? I know that was the big Ohio-backed programs that we're talking about for home buyers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to learn about. I mean, to know about OFA and what their options are. You know, and they have different tiers of the breakdown, and so, you know, just reach out if you have questions.
Well, so let's kind of end on that note. I guess for you, what are the best way for people to reach out to you and find you? If they have more questions about this program or they wanted to apply to the program, what would be the best way for them to hit you up?
To contact me, you can reach me on my cell phone at 937-212-1957, or you can go to Cornerstone First Mortgage, and I'm on the landing page there. My website is Cornerstone First Mortgage / Ben Rife. And you have my link. You can send links to the clients directly.
Or also feel free to click any of the links below. You know, I'll have my information. We'll get your information listed on the YouTube video down below too, so people can just reach out to you easily down there. But also, if you're seeing this on social media, like us, follow us. You can just send us a message directly and ask for more information on this. We can send you the link to the YouTube video, or we can put you directly in touch with Ben as well. And we can, as a team here, help get you into your first home. So thank you guys for tuning in and look forward to helping you out. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah.